February 1633. Rome, an old man sits in a room that isn't quite a prison cell, but isn't quite not one either. He's 70 years old. The Inquisition wants him to sign something. A simple piece of paper. And here's the thing. He's going to sign it. But 30 years ago, he pointed a tube at the sky and broke the universe. 1609 Padua, Italy. Galileo Galilei is 45 years old and broke. Not struggling artist broke. Properly, desperately broke. He's got 3 kids, 2 of them illegitimate, which doesn't help a dead-end teaching job at the University of Padua and creditors who are getting impatient. His salary 20 times less than the university's law professors. Because in 1609, if you want to make money, you study law or medicine. Mathematics? That's for So Galileo does what desperate people do. He hustles. He builds compasses for military engineers. But then he hears a rumor. Someone in the Netherlands may be a spectacle maker. Maybe not. The details are fuzzy. Has built a device that makes distant things appear close. A spyglass. Merchants love it. Military commanders really love it. The Venetian Senate would probably pay good money for something like that. And Galileo thinks, I can build that. Now here's the part nobody talks about. Galileo didn't invent the telescope. He didn't even claim to. What he did was improve it obsessively, methodically, grinding lenses until his version could magnify objects 8 times, then 20 times, then 30. He turned a novelty into a precision instrument. And then he made a decision that would ruin his life. He pointed it up. November 30th, 1609. Imagine you've spent your entire life believing the universe works a certain way. The Earth sits at the center. Unmoving, everything else, sun, moon, planets, stars circles around us in perfect crystalline spheres. Just like Aristotle said. Just like the Bible implies. Just like everyone knows. It's not even controversial. It's just true. The way gravity is true. The way death is true. Galileo looks through his telescope, and the moon has mountains. Mountains. Not a perfect, smooth, glowing sphere like the philosophers claimed. It's a world. He keeps looking. Jupiter, that wandering star, has moons. Which means not everything in the universe circles around us. The math doesn't add up. The old model doesn't fit. He writes it all down. It becomes a bestseller. Here's where it gets weird. The Catholic Church. They're actually fine with it. Jesuits confirm his observations. Because there's a difference between observation and interpretation. You can say Jupiter has moons. That's a fact. You can even say the moon has mountains. But if you start saying the Earth moves that we orbit the sun, that Copernicus was right, now you're in dangerous territory. Now you're contradicting scripture. Joshua commanded the sun to stand still, not the earth. Galileo knows this, but he also believes that God wrote 2 books to Bible and the book of nature, and they contradict each other if you read them correctly. So he starts arguing publicly, loudly. Bad idea. 1616 homie. Cardinal Bellarmine, brilliant theologian. Future saint, guy who helped burn Giordano Bruno at the stake for heresy, calls Galileo in for a chat. The message is polite but clear. You can teach Copernican theory as a hypothesis. Galileo agrees, sort of. He goes quiet for a while, but silence isn't the same as surrender. 1623. A new pope is elected, Urban VIII Maffeo Barberini. And he's the Kikaris, Galileo's friend. They've corresponded. Galileo thinks, finally, now I can publish. He writes a book. Dialogue concerning the 2 chief world systems. Except, it's not balanced. Not even close. The guy defending the Earth-centered universe is named Simplicio, as in simpleton, and Galileo puts some of Pope Urban's own arguments in Simplicio's mouth. 1633. The Inquisition summons him. Galileo is 70 The trip from Florence to Rome nearly kills him. He is not tortured technically, but he's shown the instruments. He knows what they do, and he's tired. So he kneels, he reads the statement they've prepared for him. He says the earth doesn't move. He says he was wrong. Legend says that after he signed, he muttered under his breath, "Et puis si muove, and yet it moves." He probably didn't. It's a good story, but it's probably not true. Galileo lives 8 more years. His daughter, Maria Celesta Nunn, the one person he truly loved, dies 2 years into his imprisonment. He goes completely blind in 1638. The man who saw Jupiter's moons, who mapped the craters of our own, who glimpsed the Milky Way and realized it was made of starsy, spends his final years in darkness, but he doesn't stop working. He writes another book. He dies in January 1642. The church refuses to let him be buried in the family tomb. Isaac Newton is born 11 months later. Here's the thing about Galileo. He didn't prove the earth moves, not definitively. The technology wasn't there yet. His arguments had holes. His calculations had errors. The Inquisition's astronomers could poke legitimate scientific flaws in his reasoning, but he understood something deeper, that the universe doesn't care what we want it to be, that reality doesn't bend to authority, to scripture, to common sense, that if you look closely in a fifth you measure. If you test, the truth reveals itself whether you like it or not. The Catholic Church officially admitted he was right in 1992. It only took them 359 years. Galileo once wrote, "I do not feel obliged to believe that the same God who has endowed us with sense, reason, and intellect has intended us to forego their use." He used them. If you want to see what else the establishment tried to bury, you know what to do. Next time, the priest who invented the Big Bang and why the church hated him for it.